Well, it's that time of year when the season of zombies has ended and ranking videos are swarming like flies on poop. And I'm about to become one of those flies because in today's video, I will be ranking every single Black Ops 6 Zombies map from worst to best. Now, I'm gonna state that I love this game. There have been many highs as well as lows with certain maps that I've learned to love over time. With that being said, this is one of the hardest tier ranking lists that I have done personally, with every map feeling the same with the objectives of getting all of your perks, upgrading your weapons, and getting the map exclusive wonder weapon. But what is gonna make maps race to the top of the list are going to be three things. 1. Originality. 2. Your journey on becoming powerful. And 3. The flow of the map. For example, being able to complete step 3 of a quest when step 1 isn't even available yet. Or the cost of doors being so high that you must choose whether you want to save your points for the next door or you would rather buy a perk. One final thing that should be said is that I don't think there are any bad maps in this game. They all have either a different flow or a unique way of becoming powerful and overall just having fun. Either way, spots need to be filled on the tier list, so don't get upset when you see one of your favorite maps so low. Instead, leave me your guys' list down in the comments section. Let's begin. If you guys didn't watch my last video, I reviewed Reckoning, and I had many feelings about that map. But coming in and last is Liberty Falls. I got you guys going there for a second, didn't I? Anyways, Liberty Falls is a very underrated map in my opinion, even though the map is in last place. There is plenty of fun to be had on this map, with a lot more highs on this map than lows, surprisingly. So let's start with the good. The side quests are all as fun as they are rewarding, with the bowling Easter egg, becoming Etherella, free Deadshot daiquiri, free loot in Gear 2, and Carl who forgot to bring the bitches. With most of these rewards being random or luck of the draw, it can make each playthrough a different experience from the last. The next positive is the wonder weapon, which can be used to either camp or train with. I love the new fire mode with this weapon that can annihilate your horde within seconds. It has a very fun quest to receive this weapon, and overall a fun and great wonder weapon. The final good about this map is the main quest. Although it's the worst main quest in the game, and there is literally a calling card that forces you to complete this main quest within 30 minutes, I think it's kind of fun. Yes, the main quest is short, but completing this map on an early round can give you all perks, a Pack 3 crystal, a ray gun, a golden gear, and other miscellaneous rewards. Doing this quest every game while I complete side Easter eggs can make it possible to become maxed out power level wise as early as round 18. That is how I have fun on this map. But on to the negatives. The map is not the funnest to look at, with a pale tone and the town looking a little off. Like, where are the sidewalks on this road? Also, unlocking Pack-a-Punch is just opening doors until you reach your destination. And finally, it's the main quest. Yes, I did praise it for being easy and rewarding, but I also said that it is indeed the worst main quest in the game. It's not a bad thing that it's short. Hell, it's not even a bad thing that the map is small. But I would consider this map to be a massive survival map. So there won't be much to do compared to other maps, and there won't be much to explore as well. I do hate putting this map in last place, and for the most part, this map was considered the camo grinding map. But put that objective aside and you will be rewarded with a solid survival map. One of my 3 requirements that a map needed to have to raise itself towards the top of the list is originality. And this map honestly feels like a copy and paste Citadel Day More. But it's not a bad thing. The term, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, fits perfectly with this map's description. So let's start out with the map layout, with the courtyard giving a player 2 doors to buy, which will lead you to either the front of the mansion or castle. Upon entry, each map gives you another 2 paths, which will lead you to Pack-a-Punch. Another example is the main quest itself, with the game forcing you to get each and every variant of the wonder weapon and doing short trials to fill a certain artifact, which will lead you to the final boss. And then finally, the Wonder Weapons, the Wonder Waff, the Mark II, and 2 of the 3 variants from Alpha Omega, which is honestly disappointing when you think about it. There could have been so many cooler ideas for different variants of the Mark II instead of reusing and also reducing them in power. But let's move on to the positives. I like the look of the map, especially the spawn leading up to the mansion. The mansion is fun to go through with different rooms and also a couple of hidden ones as well. The secret bunker with the Sam AI and the menacing Doppelgast waiting to tear you to shreds are awesome features that really bring the map to life. Sam using some remarks towards your gameplay and even using her as a trap are great features that improve the map. And finally, the boss fight. The Z-Rex is my favorite main quest boss in this game. Treyarch is known for their goofy and fun ideas for either wonder weapons and enemies. In my initial reaction going into this boss, seeing a zombified T-Rex was one of my favorite moments in this game. The boss fight itself, in my mind, has the perfect difficulty, almost crossing the line of it being too hard, but then immediately gets pulled back with the right equipment. Not a single time have I gone through this fight with a breeze. It's always a close one and always a good time. But what isn't a good time is getting the SMG version of the Mark II. We are now moving on to the bad parts of this map, and I'll start off with the lack of good side quests. The only side Easter egg that I can think of doing every game is the bedtime Easter egg, which gets very repetitive when that's the only quest that you do. Others, such as getting a pet vermin that eventually transforms into a Doppelgast, or the jump scare Easter egg, or the fog rolling in quest, are all not that fun and interesting to do. And the weirdest side Easter egg that involves you upgrading the Marine SP shotgun is so random. I've already talked about the map layout, but I think that 2 massive waste of spaces are spawn and the entrance of the mansion. There really is nothing to do in spawn besides camping in the back of spawn with the trap turned on. And the entrance of the mansion feels like a big hollow room with doors lead to more interesting parts of the map. I have also mentioned the return of certain wonder weapons, but I have to mention the most annoying step in the game, and that is playing cat and mouse with the abomination. I roll my eyes until I see my brain when I need to do this step. And finally, the main quest is too simple and too short. Just a bunch of objectives for each ray gun variant that isn't all that interesting nor riveting. But with everything that I think is bad about this map doesn't mean I hate it. There is definitely a ton of replay value about this map, whether you choose to play with one of the 3 ray gun variants, and upon doing so will definitely change the way you play the map. It's just the wonder weapons on this map aren't for me personally. This next map I absolutely hated when it released. The map size, the wonder weapon, the main quest. But now after playing it for so long, I realized I was wrong. And that map is the tomb. This map has grown on me like mold on bread. There's so much to love about this map that I didn't understand before. I'll start off with the side Easter egg quests. Some of the best ones on this map are extremely rewarding as well. Examples being the Molotov quest, the free Pack 1 crystal, the free purple gear, a free ray gun, digging and luckily receiving perks, and a last and certainly not least, the golden armor plates. A feature that everyone, including myself, wanted added to every map in this game, but probably never will be. But it's not just the side quests that are so good, it's the order you can do them in, creating a strategic approach within your next game. All of these quests can be vital for completing the steps towards unlocking the Ice Staff, which I would consider to be one of the hardest wonder weapons to get in this game. So preparations need to be made, and getting the free ray gun and getting free perks and managing your points, whether you would rather upgrade your weapon or buy perks, are going to be important choices to be made. And this is the only map that I feel these consequences come into effect, and I love it. But things start to take a slight turn for the worse when you realize that you have the best wonder weapon in the game, which is a weird thing to say, but hear me out. This weapon is so good that all you have to do to make it to a high round is give yourself frostbite on your toes and evade special and elite enemies. It's that easy. I think it's fun, but stupidly easy. Then things start to take a slighter turn for the worse when you realize that you are halfway done with the main quest once you've unlocked your upgraded staff. The rest of the main quest relies on you completing 4 super easy challenges, and then you're on to the boss. I never really liked the Sentinel Artifact boss because it feels like a bunch of enemies that have too much health, and if you use the best gun in the game, the Maelstrom, the boss is honestly a breeze. I do like the last part of the boss fight because you will fail if you do not destroy it. But overall, I would consider this quest to be the second worst in the game. But moving on to the final thing I dislike about this map is that there are too many different enemies on this small ass map. The zombies, the armored zombies, vermin, parasites, doppelgasts, electric mimics, and amalgams. That is 7 different enemy types, my lord! But I wanted to end this map on a good note, and that is this map is beautiful. From the zombies to the different areas on the map, I feel like I'm in a lost city and I love it. This map gets a ton of heat, which I totally get, but the flow and the look of the map are one of my favorites in this game. Alright, enough messing around. Reckoning is in 3rd place, which might come as a shock to the people that watched my review of this map. This was another map that I hated off of release when it came out, when it came to the wonder weapons, unlocking Pack-a-Punch, the parachute, the story, the new enemies, the side quests, many missed opportunities, and reuses elements from different maps. There was so much for me to hate about this map until I created a strategy on becoming powerful. Then I figured how easy it was to kill the Uber Klaus, and then finally I got to round 100 with the wonder weapon by training and the use of the traps. Now I have a newfound love for this map. When I first reviewed this map, I said that this map had the worst side Easter eggs, which I still believe. I believe what makes side quests special aren't just the rewards, but the actual quest itself. Does it involve the map itself, like the bowling Easter egg on Liberty Falls? But most of Reckoning's side quests have nothing to do with the map itself. The golden garbage, free Deadshot daiquiri, the weird Casimir device quest, the chicken bucket hat, and the music quest. Other side quests such as the Dark Ether Blade, the target quest, and the upgraded trap quest are the only ones that actually feel like they use the map itself. And besides the trap quest, almost all of these quests are pretty lame to do. But because all of these quests are extremely easy to do and rewarding, that is what makes early game fun. The target quest especially is what makes me come back to this map repeatedly. By round 18, my gun is pack 3 in a golden rarity, which makes unlocking the Gorg effects in whichever variant I want to play with that game that much easier to get. And speaking of the Gorg effects, I trashed on it for having similar abilities towards other weapons, but I think it's cool that the 2 variants are for different players, the campers and the trainers. The blue variant, which is meant for trainers, was a tough wonder weapon for me to master, but mastered well, it's actually a fun weapon to use. The weapon itself, in my opinion, wouldn't make top 5, but because the weapon isn't ridiculously easy to use, aka the ice staff, skill is a requirement for the first time in what feels like a long time. This map has my favorite round 100 because of the required skill you need for the Gorg effects, and the use of the Dark Ether Blade, and most importantly, the upgraded traps. This map also has my favorite layout in the game because it imitates the sort of vertical layout as Die Rise does. My favorite features from this map's layout are the convenient teleporters, the augment on stamina that erases all fall damage, leading you to fall at ass-clenching heights, and shooting from tower to tower is also fun as well. Moving on to the main quest, I think it's fun, but it feels like a bunch of chores to do just to get to the final boss. None of these steps are exciting, it just feels like you're taking one part from the map, going back all the way to the teleporter room. It's not that special to me. But now moving on to the bad, I still think this map looks boring and reuses areas we've seen on different maps. I also think that the energy mines that Uber Klaus shoots deal way too much damage and tracks you like crazy. While my journey to round 100, I was running around the map as I would training, and the energy mines would still hit me. You would think these mines would target players for camping, but for people like me who train, it just seems unfair. And the final bad I want to mention on this map are the final bosses. I'll start off with Sam. Sam is considered the easy fight in this game, but for 98% of the fight, she has a shield that negates any and all damage you try to put on her, which leads you to only kill zombies and avoid her shots the entire time you wait for her to drop her shield. It's honestly a pretty lame boss for the final map, but let's move on to Richtofen. The only difficult part about this fight is the amount of damage he deals to you. That's not a good boss fight, that's just cheap. Does the boss keep you on the edge of your toes? Yes, it does. Is it kind of fun to do? I think so. But without the use of smoke bombs or going invisible, that seems to be the only way to defeat this boss with some sort of breeze. Nevertheless, if I never gave this map a second chance by coming up with a strategy on becoming powerful and getting to round 100, I would still have hated this map. That is why this map is so high on the list. But some of the lows on this map is what's stopping this map from progressing higher on the tier list. This map is interesting to me because the environment is so intoxicating. Everywhere you go feels like a story waiting to be told. Who were these test subjects in these tubes? What did they do to these zombies to make them look like this? And what is this wonder weapon? Exploring Terminus is my favorite part of this map. With the amount of content on this map, it feels like everywhere you go, there's something to do. The most notable side quests are the cage free perk, infinite double points, free chests underwater, and just too many more to name. One of my favorite things to do on this map isn't even high rounding, but completing all of the side quests. It feels like a journey completing everything, and almost all of these quests actually use the map itself to make the player feel more involved with the map. The Kraken is a cool and necessary feature, not allowing you to just sit in your boat and kill zombies. But my favorite detail on this map has to be the islands and the shipwreck. Every island has either a step for a main quest or a side quest. I even got to round 100 on Spank Island. Link to that video will be in the top right. Like I said, the exploration on this map is some of my favorite the zombies has ever offered. And speaking of the islands, the quest to get the Beam Smasher is my favorite quest of any wonder weapon in this game. The math part especially is my favorite. But the Beam Smasher as a whole has the coolest concept of any wonder weapon, with its alternate firing mode that stuns zombies and weakens them, allowing you to either use the Beam Smasher's ray or your other weapon. I would put the Beam Smasher in my top 5 weapons of all time if the wonder weapon did better damage in higher rounds. The Beam Smasher also looks like it would have been created on this map as well. And the final thing I can glaze on this map is the main quest. I think the only bad part about this quest is the length. Yes, it may be a little short if you got the Beam Smasher from the box, but the steps on this quest again involve so much of this map. The buoy step, repairing the tubes, defusing the bombs, and the fact that there is a mini boss that involves the most emotional moments in zombies history. More emotional than Richtofen's sacrifice on Blood of the Dead, where a brand new character, who we've only known for 5 minutes, has to end her brother's, who we've only known for 2 minutes, suffering. Just heartbreaking. And on the same note, Patient 13 being a failed attempt on replicating Richtofen's son and is now a giant kraken is metal as fuck. This boss fight was such a jaw-dropping experience when I first played it, but unfortunately due to double tap, this boss is mad easy. But that doesn't make this a bad boss. The design in the arena of the boss itself makes you feel so claustrophobic even though the arena is quite spacious. Just the presence of Patient 13 makes you feel small. So what's the bad about this map? Well, getting to round 100 only training isn't the funnest thing to do, and that is due to the tight spaces on this map and the combination of super sprinters. I've also talked about the underwhelming damage the Beam Smasher provides, but not all maps need to have a fun round 100 run. This is more of a personal gripe I have, but I don't think it is a huge deal. But one of the things that I think is the lack of fast travels. The boat is fun and all, but I don't want to spend half of my setup early game on a boat. And finally, the manglers. Fuck the manglers. Anyways, this map is great, and you could tell that lots of love was put into this map. But finally, the moment we've all been waiting for, the #1 spot. Ooh! There is so much good to be said about this map. The swords, the enemies, the main quest, the guardian, and more. I'll start off with the bad because there's so little. The side quests aren't all that great besides the PhD bartending quest, and unlocking Pack-a-Punch is so brain dead easy. Unfortunately, with all the maps in this game, that is the case besides Terminus. And that's it. I really can't think of anything bad about this map that really bothers me or something that I feel is missing or could be improved. So let's start with the swords. I love them all. They're so easy and fun to use that I got to round 100 and ranked each of them from worst to best. But upon doing so, I realized something very important, and that is the augment feature in this game. Usually in every game I've ever played, I would just look up a video on what is the best item or weapon, and in this case augments, and then call it a day. But with each of these swords resembling an ammo mod, these wonder weapons are as good as you want them to be. And on top of that, the incantations are an automatic ammo mod charge. Most of these incantations can also one-shot amalgams and doppelgas, which is a fun and awesome solution to getting rid of those guys. I also think the amalgam doppelgas combo on this map works so well because of the power of the swords and incantations. Going back to the swords, getting all of these swords and incantations are all fun to get and have a cool pace on how you get them. Being able to unlock the chest for the incantations before you can get the stamp for the swords on round 9 is the type of flow I was talking about in the beginning of this video. Moving on to the layout of the map, I think it is simple but effective. Traversing this map is always fun for me because it's like Terminus. Everywhere you go, it seems like there's something you can do, like progressing the steps through your swords or parts you can obtain, or just looking around the map is enjoyable as well. On top of what I just said, shooting your way through the castle is so badass. Now onto the main quest. Easily the best in the game. Complex steps on main quest are my favorite, and this quest has a couple. Also involving swords in this quest is something I would give a double thumbs up to. The Guardian has a good difficulty of it not being too hard, but also has a challenge of the arena closing in after every phase, making you a bit more intimate with the Guardian. Citadel has a lot of my favorites on this game, such as the wonder weapons, the main quest, special and elite combo, and the map progression. The fact that this map really opened my eyes to a feature that I thought to be so minor really showed me the importance of unique and fun combos you could play around with that could change your gameplay indefinitely. And this map has so many ways of playing it. The replayability factor on Citadel is something that other maps can't even compare to, and that is why Citadel is easily in the #1 spot. Like I said in the beginning of this video, please leave me your guys' list down in the comments section below. Also, tell me your guys' experience with this game, whether or not you liked it or not, and if you guys are excited for Black Ops 7, because I know I am. Also, while you're down in the comments section, please leave a like on this video and subscribe. And as always, if you guys want to spank my bills, I will not stop ya. Have a good one, guys. Take care.